You have a smartphone, maybe even a smartwatch, but if you're a gun owner, would you buy a smart gun? Hi there, everyone. I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English lesson number 573. Here at Plain English, we talk about current events and trending topics, and we use that to help you upgrade your English, your listening, your vocabulary, grammar, all that stuff. And we go at a slower speed so you can understand every word. JR is the producer of Plain English. He has uploaded today's lesson to plainenglish.com/573. Several people have written to me lately asking, where can I find the transcripts? You find them by the lesson number. This is 573, so go to plainenglish.com/573. That is where you will find the free transcripts. Coming up today, America has more guns per capita than any other country, and it's not even close. Tragically, there are a lot of preventable gun deaths, from accidents to suicides to stolen guns used in crimes. Now, a startup in Colorado has a new product that aims to reduce gun deaths. It's called a smart gun, and it only fires if an authorized user is holding it. In the second half of the lesson, we'll talk about the English phrasal verb hold up, and JR has a song of the week. Let's get going. Love it or hate it, gun ownership is a part of American culture. A survey from a few years back estimated that there are 1.2 guns per person in the United States. So yes, it's true. There are more guns than people. If it were any other country, you would think a civil war was underway. America has by far more guns than any other country per capita. To put this in perspective, this is double the rate of Yemen, the next large country on the list. Most people outside the US hear about gun violence when there are mass shootings. It is a particularly American tragedy that disturbed people, usually men under 40, go to public places like schools and shopping malls, and they open fire. But this is not how most gun deaths occur. Far from it. 54% of gun deaths in America in 2021 were suicides. 43% were homicides. A smaller percentage were accidents. These are often cases where children find unlocked guns in their homes. There is another wrinkle. Hundreds of thousands of legally registered guns are stolen each year, either from strangers or from family members. And these guns are often used in homicides and violent crime later. One of the most notorious mass shootings in American history took place at a school 8 miles from where I grew up. The shooter had stolen the guns from his mother. A lot of gun deaths, then, could be prevented with better security. Locking the guns and ammunition, preferably separately, can lead to dramatic reductions in gun accidents and theft. But people are fallible and, yes, careless. To outsiders, America can seem like a shockingly violent place. If America could just get rid of its guns, then so many lives could be saved. This is a noble thought, but it ignores the fact that gun ownership is embedded in the culture. Over 42% of American households own a gun. Firearm ownership is protected by the Constitution, and politics are gridlocked, preventing any meaningful change at the national level. Is all hope lost to reduce gun deaths? Not according to BioFire, a Colorado startup led by a 26-year-old named Kai Kleffer. Kleffer was 15 years old when, just half an hour from his house, a gunman killed 12 people at a midnight screening of a Batman movie. The experience led him to experiment with ways to reduce gun violence. BioFire has developed what it calls a smart gun. The gun only fires when its owner is the one holding it. It uses the same technology as modern smartphones. The gun uses facial recognition software to know who's holding it. There is also a fingerprint sensor on the grip. The gun will only fire if one of these systems confirms that an authorized user is the one holding it. This promises to improve safety in several ways. First, it means that a child or household member couldn't fire the gun accidentally. Second, this can prevent older kids from using a gun owned by the parents. Older children, teenagers, sometimes find the keys to locked gun cabinets and they experiment, or they take their own lives. A smart gun would prevent that. And third, it means that if the gun were stolen, it couldn't be used in a crime later. But does it work? Demos have shown the safety features to be reliable. The prototype correctly identifies the gun owner in milliseconds, so you don't have to wait for it to unlock itself. This is key. Most handguns are purchased for safety. The owners don't ever want to have to use them. But if they need them to work without fail and without delay. Previous attempts at a smart gun haven't been reliable, and that was their downfall. The BioFire gun is fully electric. It has a trigger, but the gun doesn't fire as a result of mechanics like a traditional gun, but as the result of an electric charge. It's like the difference between turning a key or pushing a button to start a car. Because it's fully electric, the gun needs to be charged. The company says it can hold a charge for 2 months. A docking station can keep it charged all the time. Each gun can have 5 authorized users. Who would buy a gun like this? I read the comments under online articles and videos, and the comments are running at least 90% against this gun. A lot of gun enthusiasts are skeptical that fingerprint recognition would work when they need it. Many simply don't trust a computer in their gun. Others are suspicious that the government could remotely disable their electric gun, and the comments get more paranoid from there. However, avid commenters are not the target audience for BioFire's first product. The most likely buyer is someone who is on the fence about owning a gun. He or she is concerned about safety and is considering getting a gun for protection. But that person is also concerned about accidents. Until now, the risk of an accident or theft outweighed the benefit of protection for many people. But if the gun can only fire if the adult owner is holding it, the risk-reward calculation may change. Smart gun features would not prevent all accidental gun deaths. However, they could go a long way toward preventing accidents among children, suicides by teens, and crimes that result from stolen guns. And if BioFire's new smart gun holds up in real-life situations, its features may be adopted by more mainstream manufacturers. BioFire is taking pre-orders right now, and the first units might be available at the end of this year. I think a lot of people's reaction to this would be there should just be fewer guns. Instead of making a deadly weapon safer, it's better to eliminate guns entirely. Believe me, people have tried, but firearms are embedded in America's history and culture and politics, and they're part of a self-reinforcing cycle. The more crime there is, the more people want to own guns for self-defense. The more people own guns, the more guns get stolen, the more crime, and so on. I realize 90% or more of you are shaking your heads in disbelief at how many guns are in circulation. Many people are wondering how a society can even function with so many guns out there. I don't completely disagree, but barring a radical change in the culture, guns are here to stay. So I think gradual improvements like this can help with safety. And if this one smart gun works, then the safety features it pioneers can hopefully be more widely adopted. Today, I'm going to show you how to use the phrasal verb hold up. We did this one in lesson 168, but the way we talked about it then, it had a different meaning. Hold up in this context means to stay strong or to perform well, especially under pressure or in conditions of stress and adversity. Let's start with two examples of performing well. Remember, hold up means will something perform well in conditions of stress or pressure. In today's lesson, you learned about the new smart gun being made by BioFire. If you watch demo videos, you'll see that it works perfectly in controlled demonstrations in a gun range. But many people buy guns for self-defense. How would this work in the middle of the night? How would it work if your hands were sweaty? How would it work if it were not fully charged? How would this hold up in the real world? In other words, would this gun stay strong? Would it perform well in conditions of stress and adversity like what you find in the real world? Next example. I'm watching the show Suits now. It's about corporate lawyers. It's every bit as unrealistic as other legal and police shows, but I at least think it's entertaining. One phrase that you sometimes hear in Suits and in other police shows is this: will this evidence hold up in court? That means, will this be accepted by a court as evidence? Will this evidence be strong enough to survive in court? What might not hold up in court? Recordings that were made illegally would not hold up in court. If you record someone confessing to a crime and you made the recording illegally, the court won't accept it. That won't hold up in court. That won't survive the stress test. If police find a piece of evidence, but they don't track it and register it properly, that won't hold up in court. If a suspect confesses to a crime, but he didn't have the chance to consult with a lawyer, that confession won't hold up in court. In all these cases, the evidence will not survive. It will not prove to be durable. It will not work as evidence. It will not hold up. So those were two examples of hold up, meaning will something perform well under pressure? Will the BioFire gun perform well in real-world stressful situations? Will a piece of evidence survive examination by a judge in a courtroom? Now, hold up can also mean stay strong. And when we use it this way, we often say held up well or did not hold up well. Now, you might remember we just had a global pandemic of unprecedented proportions. How did the economy hold up during the pandemic? There were definitely disruptions, but the global economy held up well during the pandemic. Why did the economy hold up well? In many places, governments gave support to people who were out of work. Many people could work from home, and trade in physical goods held up well too. Consumers kept spending. So the economy held up well. The economy was placed under stress, the pandemic, and it performed well. It stayed strong under those circumstances. You can use hold up to describe the health of a friendship or a relationship. You might say their relationship held up well even after one partner lost his job and the other's parent got seriously ill. What does that mean? One partner lost his job. That's stressful. The other's parent got seriously ill. That's stressful. Both of these things can be stressful in a relationship, but their relationship held up well, meaning their relationship stayed strong despite the stress. Do you have friends from long ago? If so, you might find that you've grown apart. You might have moved to different places. You might have different careers. You might have different family situations. All of those things might cause a friendship to fade. But if that didn't happen, if you still have a friendship despite all those differences, you might also say, our friendship has held up over the years despite our differences. Now it's time for JR's Song of the Week. It's called Be by Garrett Cato. After a few weeks of older songs, we're back into the 21st century with this one. This is a really good one, a really mellow sound. The lines I like are, I hope you find some peace inside of yourself. It can get bad sometimes, but you can fall asleep with me. Good song, Be by Garrett Cato is the song of the week. Thank you, JR. That's it for this Thursday, May 18th, 2023. Next week, I am going to have an announcement for you. So I want you to be listening here next week. I don't know if I'm going to make the announcement on Monday or Thursday, but it's an exciting new activity that you can do with us here at Plain English. It's going to be a fun and exciting way to practice English with us, something we've never done before, but I think you're going to like it. I'm not ready to say exactly what it is yet, but next week I will say either on Monday or Thursday. So if you're interested, and this is going to be free. Don't worry, it's free. If you're interested in doing a little more with us besides just listening to the lessons, then you are going to want to tune in next week for a special announcement. So don't forget, tune in next Monday and Thursday, and I'll fill you in on all the details. See you then.